death of my only daughter. Drug addiction striking 2 out of 3 of my sons. Divorce after 24 years of marriage. Depression captivating the mind of my youngest. Devastating, absolutely. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guest. What enables any one of us to pick ourselves back up again after receiving one of life's major blows without depression or bitterness taking hold? Often it begins with a friend. Leslie, please go to church with me, Susan begged for the umpteenth time. I'll go one time if you promise never to ask me again. I'd had my fill of church growing up. 3 years in a rocky marriage and 6 months pregnant once was all that was needed. I began my journey that Sunday through the pages of the oldest, most read, and popular book of all times. I devoured the promises from the beginning to the end and back again 3 years in a row. This is where I met my best friend. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have best friends, don't we? Could be a childhood mate, a spouse, a parent, a child, perhaps a pet. Ponder with me for a moment. What constitutes best? My best friend, he put a melody in my heart 2 years before my daughter was born. In the day when I cried out, you answered me and made me bold with strength in my soul. That verse from Psalms 138:5 empowered me to be able to say no more when the surgeon wanted to cut again into my daughter's cancerous body. Best friends, here are hearts. When my middle son Ryan was 6 years old, he cried out, "I can't, Mommy, I can't," while trying to ride his bike shortly after his baby sissy died. Yes, you can, Ryan. Remember, we can do all things together. 20 years later, ladies and gentlemen, my best friend provided the funds needed for Ryan's rehab through an anonymous sponsor. Today, Ryan runs the Christian arm of that very center. Yes. Best friends encourage us. Through divine prompting, I made amends with my son's dad. The real kicker, though, was when God enabled my ex-father-in-law, who blamed me over a decade for the divorce, to finally be able to let go and forgive. The morning we brought my youngest son, Michael, back from Afghanistan in one piece after he experienced a concussion from an IED explosive. We depend on our best friends, don't we? Unfortunately, not all relationships last. Sometimes our best friend passes on before we do. But not my best friend. He promises he will never leave us or forsake us. Through these timeless pages that speak of him, I gained determination and strength to continue to step out and grow, especially through clubs like Toastmasters. Within my first year, I mastered my humorous speech contest. Unfortunately, you could hear me echo the words of my son. I can't do this. I'm not funny. Yet, with the help of my best friend, we did it. Today, ladies and gentlemen, even though my oldest son is homeless and completely drug-ridden, I am fueled with hope, trusting that one day he too will cry out for help like I did when I was pregnant with him. To my best friend. In a recent movie, The Revenant, the main character, while riding bareback on his faithful companion, finds himself plunging over a steep cliff after his horse is shot. He lands in the snow and lives, but not his horse. In order to survive the extreme cold, he grievously carves out the cavity and slides within the walls of his best friend. Like that horse, my best friend gave his life that I might live eternally with him. One day, I will see my daughter again. Ladies and gentlemen, any one of us can find shelter within the loving kindness of an eternal friendship.